Angel alert! With recent market shifts and closures of some reverse mortgage companies, SunWest remains over 40 years strong and a longstanding leader in reverse mortgage lending. We're here for you and for your borrowers. At SunWest, we understand how important it is to meet your clients' expectations. So why not exceed them by closing their reverse loan fast? Go to heckham.swmc.com for all the information you'll need to use our simple tools, submit your reverse mortgage loans for immediate approval, and make your originations fast. If you'd like to learn more about reverse mortgage loans and why they're so popular in today's market, join us on Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific for a live anonymous webinar. Go to heckham.swmc.com for more information. See you Friday.
Welcome to The Interest. I'm Mike Savino. Unfortunately, we have more layoffs to report on. This time, it's a merger from 2021 that continues to result in downsizing. We'll have more on that coming up, but first, the push to deal with appraisal bias continues to grow. And for the first time last year, researchers got a look at actual appraisal records released by the Biden administration. So what did these records show, and what does it mean for how appraisals are done? NMP staff writer Katie Jensen talked with the researcher in the latest episode of Gated Communities.
This is crazy. This is not okay.
For the first time, researchers are able to access millions of records while evaluating bias in appraisals. Is it real? And if so, how wide is the gap in the valuations for white homes versus those in communities of color? Sociology professor Junia Howell says the data doesn't just show the gap is real, but it exploded during the pandemic.
So then I was like, okay, what the heck? How can this even be possible? What's happening?
She says there's several reasons why, but it starts with how appraisals have been done for decades. Like many critics, Howell says the architects of the sales comparison approach built racism into the model, whether they meant it or not.
Right, this is where it comes from. This idea that location is really important, but specifically who lives in that location.
The study found appraisals of homes in white communities grew twice as fast as they did for communities of color in the pandemic. Howell says this is at least partly because the Federal Reserve lowered bank reserve requirements to zero, bought mortgage-backed securities, and kept interest rates at historic lows.
So you had three mechanisms of the Federal Reserve simultaneously enacted that increased in an enormous amount the capital.
But underserved borrowers had a harder time accessing this capital. Howell says this limited their ability to get loans, while investors with capital have helped drive up prices.
There are whole apartment buildings that are over half empty because investors, not just from the US, but around the world, are investing in these units and have no plans in anyone ever living in them.
So what's the solution? Howell says we need a new model for appraisals. Unfortunately, she doesn't see one that exists in the U.S., but she's trying to develop one that focuses solely on the value of a building, not who lives next door.
So is the brick that was built here 100 years ago, is it still in good condition? Can it last for another 100 years? And how much value might be left here?
You can hear more from Howell on how we can close the appraisal gap on gated communities. The Mortgage News Network's podcast looking at how to help underserved borrowers. For the Mortgage News Network, I'm Katie Jensen.
Thanks, Katie. And Howell was one of several people who testified in front of financial regulators Tuesday on this very topic. At this hearing, CFPB Director Rohit Chopra echoed some of Howell's concerns about the standard used for appraisals.
I think not many people really understand how this Byzantine system works.
The hearing was held by the Federal Financial Institution Examinations Council's Appraisal Subcommittee. Chopra said that the CFPB wants to take a closer look at how appraisals are conducted, and he expressed concern specifically about how the nonprofit Appraisal Foundation structures its fees. The foundation sets standards accepted across the country, but Chopra said he's heard from appraisers who claim that the foundation charges too much for its membership and its education. The subcommittee didn't suggest any changes on Tuesday, but Chopra said he expects more hearings on this topic in the future. Coming up, a seamless merger has resulted in a fourth round of
Morgan of SunWest Mortgage is here to change the world of loan originations forever. From sending updates to your clients to allowing you more time, you can do it all in a simple chat. You no longer have to struggle with documents. All you need to do is select the files and upload them, and they're submitted in an instant along with your loan file. With SunWest, your true home is always within.
Welcome back. When Silver Hill Funding announced plans to merge with Lakeview Loan Servicing back in 2021, the company said that the merger would be seamless. Earlier this month, Silver Hill announced a fourth round of layoffs, this time shedding 27 employees. The company had 80 employees at the time of the deal, but one former employee estimates that the company has a skeleton crew of about 20. Silver Hill has also eliminated most of its residential loan programs since the merger. It now focuses on commercial and debt service coverage ratio loans. Silver Hill did both direct and wholesale lending at the time of the merger. Lakeview is also a residential lender and is part of Bayview Companies. Silver Hill did not respond to our request for comment. The former employee, who spoke with us on a condition of anonymity, says that the 27 employees were let go after a 10-minute Zoom call. They will get some severance, including payments for unused time off and health insurance coverage through the end of the year. And finally, as we turn the page on the new year, National Mortgage Professional magazine wants to feature you. Think back on your career. What was the best deal that you ever made? We're not talking about the biggest deal you ever had. We want to hear about one that resonates with you personally. Did you help a single mom get into her dream home? Or maybe you met the love of your life. Perhaps there was a deal that helped you turn your life around. Share your stories with us at nmplink.com/bestdeal. The deadline for submissions is February 20th. We'll be right back with what else is interesting today.
I had to watch him go from so capable to a different person altogether, and it was really hard. We're hoping that this message gets to veterans out there who are in similar struggles. That's how fast SunWest worked. It was truly amazing. It makes me very happy to know that there's a company out there that cares so much, that they go through so much to help, because we never expected this. Never.
SunWest understands that your success is built one family at a time. Visit sunwestpartners.com.
Welcome back. Here's what else is interesting today. And it's a little good news to wrap up today's show. Mortgage applications were increased for the third week in a row to start 2023. Overall, applications increased thanks to gains in both purchase and refi activity, although purchase applications remain nearly 40% lower than they were a year ago. Mortgage rates on most loan types decreased last week, and the 30-year fixed reached its lowest level since September of last year. That's potentially good news for home buyers, but home buying activity remains tepid. If rates continue to fall and home prices cool further, the MBA says it does expect to see potential buyers coming back to the market. For more on these and all of today's top stories, go to mortgagenewsnetwork.com.